The final words fall to me only because it turns out Immaculata de Pino is not able to make her presentation at the moment on the rule of law. And my co-chair, principal chair, Louise, is having a very unstable connection. So it falls to me to close this session, and I have exactly 2 minutes to do it. So first, I'd like to thank the organizers of the event for making space for us to have this session. And I'd really like to thank all of the speakers for participating and leaning into this and giving it their best. I think, perhaps inadvertently, we've stumbled into this balance between, or an imbalance, a sort of precarious feeling of imbalance between continued polarization between key actors on a lot of these issues, perhaps stagnation, against some reasons for feeling very hopeful, and that there will be breakthroughs to break some current impasses, and appreciating, as Carlos said in his opening presentation, over the course of the last 70 years and in much more recently, in recent years, we have had some very important developments, some very significant concepts that have evolved and taken form, for example, the multilateralism of the multilateral system, that sort of thing. So we do have instruments, as Kent said, to build on, and we need to take advantage of them. On the other hand, this tension between polarization, stagnation, and the hope for, and our best hopes for breakthroughs does sound quite familiar if one thinks over the course of the last few weeks on the reporting of the COP26 of the climate change framework. And I guess we find ourselves perhaps in a little bit of the same position. And part of our perhaps concern is also reflected in a reflection of the fact that we've had this pandemic to deal with. It's made it very difficult to make substantive progress on the international front, of course, for the last year and a half, and threatens still to slow down progress in international settings for the next while. But all that said, there has been progress. There are important things to build on. Some of our systems are working well, and there are opportunities, COVID-19 allowing, for us to have breakthroughs that we've been waiting for under the CBD, for the Global Biodiversity Framework, at the level of the governing body meeting, for the treaty that's coming up, the meetings of the commission. We've got all three of those bodies represented here in their secretariats. You can see from their comments, they're all optimistic that their fora can accommodate the plurality of positions we've been hearing from stakeholders today, and that they can help shepherd through a process of accommodation and compromise that's necessary to make progress in the next year. And again, it's, as was just reflected upon in the panel discussion, it's critically important to have progress at the level of intergovernmental bodies, but it's equally important that stakeholders engage from local to community and local and organization levels to national levels to move all these things forward. The progress isn't made in these issues by international bodies alone and diplomats meeting in Rome or in Stockholm or wherever we're going to meet next. It requires a lot of groundwork from civil society, from industry, from research. We all have to, farmers organizations, we all have to really lean in, I think, over the course of the next year to see some significant breakthroughs. I hope that this discussion will count as moving in that direction. And again, I thank you all very much for participating in it. After this session closes, there will be more events on this last day of the Agrobiodiversity Congress. There will be sessions for cooking. There will be some side events that are very important that many of you, I think, who are panelists will be participating in and have coordinated. And I anticipate or encourage everyone to participate in those final events. So there will also be a special closure video and cooking show. So unless the organizers would like to add something to these words that I have just shared with you and trying to take over and fill the shoes of Louise, I will stop now and thank you all once more.
agrobiodiversity applies a holistic systems lens to preserve and restore productive ecosystems, food security, sustainable economic development, and protecting traditional food cultures, including indigenous ones.
It is, in other words, a way of life, guided by respect for the planet, the people, and their diversity.
Food is not just something we eat, it's our history, it's our culture, it's how we share our lives with one another, and it's our future.
I want people to know with every bite of food that they eat, that they are helping to shape our food system.
We can take action. We can embrace the concept of diversity to make an important paradigm shift towards food systems that are diverse, equitable, and sustainable.
Secure access to nutrition food for all people and future generations.
We know that food production systems are one of the key drivers.
We all know that production systems not only drive what we eat, but are also the single largest driver of biodiversity loss and contribute approximately 1/4 of emissions causing the climate crisis.
We understand that agroecology is a science, it's a set of practices, and it is a movement.
Recognize human rights to get access to seeds, including the right to save seeds, the right to use the seeds produced by the farmer in future cycles of cultivation.
What it works, it's a permanent assessment of the genetic diversity in the ecosystems and how we connect to that in a more permanent way.
The power of tradition and innovation to improve the human condition.
Our agrobiodiversity action word is protect, because it is imperative. We protect the world seed, and in doing so, we protect our future food and nutrition security forever.
Let us all embrace the commitment outlined in the 2021 Rome Declaration on using agrobiodiversity to transform food systems and incorporate these into solutions and actions for food systems transformation.
But let's hold each other's hands and do it together, because as I thank the many people who made this presentation possible, I know that we cannot undertake this work alone. We will only be able to do it together. But for that, and for you, I'm very grateful.